Hey guys, I'm gonna show you now how to remove the oil pump of the VW air-cooled engine, and I want to show you here something that is very important. You see these nuts, they have a sealing part on it that it has to be used in order to prevent leaks from the cover. You don't use any washers, you don't use any sealant on here when you're fitting. You just use these special nuts. That's all it takes. If you use these, they're not gonna leak on here. So I'm gonna show you now how to get this off. Just spray a little bit here. You should normally have no sealant on this gasket. When I assemble these, I put a little bit of sealant in the back gasket, like silicone, but not much. You just in fact, you just make the gasket a bit wet using your hands, your fingers. And in the front gasket you put absolutely nothing, just put a dry gasket. I'm gonna show you later when I assemble it. So here we go. And most of the times these gears, it would not come off easily like this, so what I do, I get a little piece of cloth and I make like so in my long nose pliers, and I will grab, for example here, this is a bit hard, let's see, there you go. I will grab this here and I'll pull it off like this. Here we go. What you want to do as well, you must always make sure that you put exactly in the same position if you want to still use the same pump. So keep it in a way that you're going to remember. I normally remove the gear and I put the face up. So when I remove the pump, I place it back again. I put a cable tie in it, and then I know. Make sure that you always remember the side. Sometimes you can just see by the marks where it come from, because the marks will be different in the back. If you look like this one, it's got different marks on it, and these marks will match this one, because there's only one way of fitting that gear. So if you remove this one, let's see if it comes off easy. Normally it doesn't, because it gets carbon in the back. You see, so you're gonna have to do the trick. I'm gonna put this aside, and we're gonna do the trick of the cloth so you don't damage your gears. So you go a bit back and forth, so you clean that carbon that is in the gear. Eventually it will come off. You see, all you're doing is you're cleaning the carbon that is in the back here. The carbon builds up here, and then it prevents it from coming off. So now if you look into the two gears, you can see that's not the same. Here you see, you can see it's different. Now that matches, so you know what side is up, and the bottom exactly the same. Here we go. So let's now remove this pump, and for that I am going to use this puller. It's a cheap one, it costs very cheap, and in other words it's also weak, so you have to be careful. You see mine is a little bit bent already. So here's what we're gonna do. This thing slides in there. You want to get it centered, because then if you don't center it properly, what's gonna happen is just gonna come off on the one side. So try your best to make it in the center, and then I tighten just a tiny bit and I see how it feels. Yeah, it's tight. So here's a trick I do. If you're going to strip the whole engine, you're gonna have to get all the nuts out. So I do it already now. For example, this one and this one. So doing this, you actually releasing the tension here, so you'll make it easier for your pump to come off. Okay, so So let's see how it goes now. Hopefully it'll come off slowly. There we go. You can hear some noise and the pump is coming out. You see? Obviously if you're not stripping the engine, you might find it harder because you have to keep those tight. You don't want to open it because it will leak. So eventually, if your puller breaks there, you're gonna just have to modify it to make it stronger. I haven't come across it yet because most of the times I am removing pumps that have been out of the engine or the aftermarket, so they don't fit as tight as when they come from VW. So this is it. Your pump is coming off. But it's pretty straightforward. Obviously when you loosen these bolts here, it's easier, so just bear that in mind. Here we go, and our pump is off, no damage. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna put the gears back together as they came off. That side, you see the difference? So this side is up, and I get a cable tie, I tied it, and I leave it like this. When I'm gonna clean it, I take it off, I wash it, and if I need, I'll put it back together again. Thanks for watching, and please, if you can, subscribe. There will be much more videos coming on. If you have any questions, you can just ask me, and I will try to answer in the best of my knowledge. Thanks very much for watching.